So, my story, how I became homeless in New York City. Okay, this is the introduction of it. I just got tired living in Atlanta, Georgia, living the same day every day. I was raised in the health field back in Florida, and I just got tired. I started as a candy striper at 13. I've been working ever since I've been 13. I started as a candy striper. Got my CNA license when I was basically 16 years old. They had a program in high school that was called HOSA, Health Occupation Students of America. So I became a CNA at an early age. And you know what? I don't even really think that I really wanted to be a nurse. I just think that that was the thing to do at that time because where I live, it was either nurses, maid, cooks, telephone workers, or whatever. I just really didn't have a choice. I was living in a household with a single mother, and I felt like I needed to help participate and help her out, which I was the child that was helping out a single mother. I did that. So as time went on, that's all I knew to do. Okay. So here I go to Atlanta, Georgia, trying to find my way, coming from up underneath my mother and my grandmother's coattail, trying to find life of my own. So what did I do? I run back into the hospital because that's the norm. That's what I did. Well, here goes April 2002. I just got tired. I got tired. I started looking around. I started looking at the journalists I was hanging around. I was like, oh, that's a different job. I start I, when I was going to Georgia State at the time, um, I felt like I didn't want to be a nurse. I tried to get into the nursing program. I did twice. And the first time I went through and I was just looking at everything, and that's not really what I wanted to do. I dropped out within the first week. I tried to do it the second time. My heart wasn't in it. I got out the second week. So I started taking acting classes because it was fun. And I says, this is what you like to do. And then all of a sudden I get in front of instructors, and the instructors, they start pumping up my head up, and they start saying, oh, you got something beautiful and subtle, because I was a very subtle person and the things I did. And plus I had looks and stuff like that at the time. So I just felt like I wanted to pursue something else than the healthcare. I just got tired. I got sick and tired. I purchased my first townhouse in 2000, and I felt like that's all I was doing. I was going to work, paying a mortgage, paying a brand new car, and I was making $11.44 an hour at Northside Hospital. I was sick. I felt like I was having a mental breakdown because every time my friends would see me come to work, my nose was red. I had bags up underneath my eyes like I was crying, and I was. I was sliding down the wall because I was tired. I felt like Tina wasn't being Tina. I felt like I was living somebody else's life, and I didn't want to do it no more. So I went to the doctor. The doctor told me, they said, well, you know what? We can put you on some medication. But I said, bump that. I says, I ain't sick like that. I was sick and tired of doing the same old thing. And I knew that it was more to life than just work. I knew it was. I knew it was more to life than being just a nurse. I didn't even know if I wanted to be one. I wanted to find out and explore life. So what did I do? I put everything in order because that's just me. I put everything in order. I looked at my job that I had for 7 years, and I says I didn't want to do it anymore. I looked at all the time. I looked at it was during the summertime. I says, okay, we got income tax coming. I had my little pension stacked up, and I says, you know what? I put everything in place. I found a realtor at the time. I says I didn't care about the house. I didn't care about no money, getting money back. I wanted to sell the house as is. I found somebody. I said, take it. That was the immature Tina. because I wasn't looking. I felt like when you feel like you're stuck, you just felt like, I don't give a damn how it goes, get rid of it. Life was ahead of me, not behind me at the time. So, what did Tina do? Tina put that house up on sale as is. It was just an even swap, so I won't go into foreclosure. So, I wanted to get out of it. Okay. So, when April came, I put my 2 weeks notice in. They was like, Tina, are you sure you want to do this? I was smiling. Yeah, girl, I'm finna go be an actress. I'm gonna be doing this. I'm gonna be doing that. I was happy. Immature, yes, but you know what? My thing is, you have to learn life. That's what you mean learning. And I was the type of person that didn't mind getting in a boat. If it had holes, I was gonna row it anyway. I was gonna get out of Dodge. That was the plan. So what I did is I went to Florida. I went to Florida for 1 month, to get my head together because my mother thought that she thought I was freaking out. My mom just thought I was having a nervous breakdown. She said, Tina, you what? I said, I'm quitting my job. You gonna quit your good job? Why not? I just purchased a car. I had a Honda Civic, a teal Honda Civic. I didn't care. You talking about immaturity? You talking about non-response? Let me tell you something. I didn't care. I had a brand new car. I had a car for a year. It was a teal Honda Civic, brand new, pretty. I didn't care about no car note. I felt like I was gonna get money coming in. I called in a couple of places in New York City. Oh, and I just thought that I was just the perfect person, and they just thought I had all this experience at New York Presbyterian Hospital. And anyway, I'll come back to that later. So I went to Florida and spent some time with my family. And every day I looked around in Florida and I was looking at driving around on old neighborhoods, streets, and stuff like that. And I was frowning at the same time, and just a lot of stuff just came up and came out. Spending time with the family. That was the time that I was actually spending time with my grandmother. I enjoyed her company. And she was the one that basically babyfied me all the way up into that point because I had my grandmother and I had my mother. With those two, life was good. I didn't care about meeting anybody else, but I knew that there was more to life than mama and grandmama. Okay? So I spent time with my grandmother. My grandmother had a bedroom apartment on Old Bradenton Road. And every night I would go to her and I would crawl up in her bed. When it got time to, when it got time for a month, because I had planned on going to New York City in May. So I spent time. My grandmother didn't want me to go. Um, she says, Tina, and I just told them, I said, I had a job offer. I had this and that. I didn't have nothing set up. I just had just a promise. And I felt like I was going to get hired. And I just felt like with all my experience and me being nice and me being just that girl, you know what I mean? I felt like that's all I had to go off of because when I moved to Atlanta, I was hired just like that. I felt like I just had that type of confidence that once they see my resume, hey, it was easy to get hired as a CNA and whatever. And I made some type of contact. What I didn't know is May, when I left, that was the last time that I seen my grandmother. That was the last time that I actually placed my eyes on her. That was the last time I hugged her. That was the last time that I actually spent some time with my grandmother. But I didn't know that at the time. So I got on the road and I basically was grooving out on the highway going to New York City and didn't know that life was going to start lifing once I got to New York City. And it did.